This is the Red Bull Rant podcast. If you aren't expecting adult language, why even bother listening? Welcome, my friends, to the Should Have Friends. This is the Red Bull Rant podcast. I'm your host, Jason Ipico.
I'm Truman, and this is episode 465, Return of the Yech, Return of the Blech, however you want to say it.
I mean,
another fun 2 games to talk about.
Yeah. It's almost like this team doesn't want us to have fun.
I blame ourselves.
Yeah, it's our fault for wanting to be fans of this team, right?
Yeah.
1-1 draw at Colorado, followed up by a 2-2 draw at home, where they should have won because there's a fucking rain delay. And we blame rain delays for this year, except for now.
A 2-hour rain delay. Maybe it was too long.
Oh, God, it was 2 hours, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So anything of it, because I was doing other stuff around the house, so.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe it was too long. I mean, it was definitely too long for Ronald Dunkor because he did not start that second half.
Yep.
All right. Before we get into our thoughts, let's start with the tweets because we have a text instead of a voicemail, but that's strictly about the second game. So I want to make sure we get the stuff in first.
So bananas. All right. So some tweets first. The first one from @Drewski_Doodles. I don't think he's ever tweeted at us. But he just simply said, "I'm not looking forward to Cincinnati." Oh boy, no kidding.
I mean, that could have been said. That could have been said after either game.
Yeah, for sure. Really, most of these, just either of them. Say no to fascists @NYC_Ty said, "We suck." Again, yes.
Yeah.
Will Pegg @LCFC History Stat said, "In the words of Elvis Costello, I'm not going to sing it, though I would because I love Elvis Costello." But he said, I used to be disgusted, but now I try to be amused. Also a great song on the first album. Go listen to it. He says, never is that a red card and a PK. What a terrible call. I think it was a red card.
Yeah.
He was the last defender. We'll get to it. That was the bad play all around. We're gonna follow on back to that. And then Jeremiah sent us some thoughts too. So he quote tweeted himself, but he wanted to say, amen to this. We are wasting some really good seasons from a few players, like the kind of seasons that you just don't count on repeating. Morgan, Coronel, Dylan Nealis, all playing very well, and the lack of depth and utter lunacy of selling Amaya when we did is killing us. The luck we're riding game after game is eventually going to collapse from exhaustion. Jeremiah, that might be coming this weekend at home. Might.
Does that include the Colorado game too?
Yes, there was no tweets from the Colorado game. Too late. Everyone was sleeping, I think, to that one.
It was like 11. Well, it was closer.
They both were, honestly. They're the same.
I was going to say, this game, the game yesterday ended later than the Colorado game.
Sure did.
Wow. I can't believe nobody talked about Colorado. But so the Google Voice number we have does support text, by the way. We generally don't say you can text it, but it does support text. So I don't know who this is because they didn't give us a name. What starts out with longtime listener, Rido from Metro Soccer Report. So, based off of that, the only one I know of is Eric Freelander. I don't know if this is him. I don't know if there's anybody else that writes for that, but anyway, what do we do about our center backs? They give up penalties, red cards, or own goals every game, it feels like. They were a bright spot to start the season, but now they're the reason we aren't challenging for a shield. What's their problem? Their problem is up the field in the final third where we're not fucking finishing anything.
There is. I mean, this team, we talked about it for many years. The best part about this team was their defense. And holy fuck. Jay, the season's not even over. We've had has it been 4 straight reds for center backs?
Not 4 straight.
I'm not saying 4 games in a row, but 4.
Oh,
I mean a straight red. Giving a straight red. I believe there's been 4 of them.
I know there was Nealis, there was Reyes, LA.
I think there's two.
Reyes,
who had the handball? Who had the handball?
That was
the obvious handball. Okay, so there's one. We had last night.
I think Reyes pulled somebody down also.
Reyes was the UFC fighter taking a swing. I know I'm missing. I'm convinced there's 4.
Let's look at the match.
I could be wrong, but I thought there was 4. I thought there was 2 Nealises. I thought 2 red cards.
Okay, so Reyes got the first one against Chicago back in April.
That was the punch. The I didn't quite connect, but the swing, right?
Yeah. Then LA got one against Vancouver 14 days later.
That was the arm, the knocking the ball down with the arm.
Oh, Sean Nealis got one at New York City, but it was very late in the match. Like, I forget what happened. It was just, actually, no, I don't think that was a straight red. I think it was a double yellow.
That might have been right.
Because Google is showing a yellow and a red, so I think that one's a double yellow. Let's see, against DC. Who the hell went out against DC? Oh, it wasn't us. Okay. I saw the DC match and thought we had a red card against. No, that's.
So maybe it might be. Is it just 3? Maybe it's 3.
So 3 matches straight red. It was a center back. 4 matches total with a red card, and they were all center backs.
Okay. Oh boy.
Listen, what I'm gonna say about that is there's only so much you can ask your defense to do when you're not scoring goals. Not excusing the play that we've seen over the last few games like this, right? But we've scored 39 goals, which honestly I don't even know how the hell we scored 39.
We had a couple good games here and there, a couple really good games.
But Philadelphia, who's in 14th place in the Eastern Conference, scored 42 this year. And this is honestly surprising. I honestly would not have thought this before looking at these standings. No other team except for Philly below us has scored more goals. But you look at the top 3 in the East. Inter Miami scored 54, Cincinnati 43, Columbus 46.
Mm-hmm.
All of them have a plus 13 or better goal difference. We're plus 9. Granted, we have 11 draws in that where they don't.
I was going to say that's why there's so many fucking draws against shitty teams, which we just saw again.
Then let's go to the Western Conference. The top 5 teams in the West all have 40-plus goals scored. Number 7 has 48. And that's so out of the West, 6 teams are beating us in terms of goals scored, right? Again, not saying I excuse some of the goals we've given up, especially like the one I'm going to attribute to Nealis because of the red card, but really that play was just a defensive breakdown that put Nealis in that position to begin with. But some of these goals, like you can't, if you're not scoring, you can't ask the defense to continue to hold up forever and win games. The mantra is always defense wins championships. Well, that only works if you can score.
Yes, but how many games do they have to go down a man, and then you have to play a completely different style? It's just it's fuck. I mean, they barely held on for a draw last night at home in the rain again against a bad fucking team. What did they say? 5 road wins in 30 games, like 30 road games. They've had 5 wins. Like fucking bad teams. It's just, I don't know. It's a discipline problem, I guess, with the center backs because it's always to be something completely bonkers that happens. Right. This one was more of, he was the last guy in there. But I mean, I never feel with Carlos Coronel that you have to be grabbing the guy in the box. Yeah. I really don't. I don't think if you just keep him outside and stay inside, you still have a great keeper who can make really good saves, as he did at the end of the game last night. Made an absolutely fucking beautiful save to save them a point. Just
cut the angle down. Make it a really tough shot.
Right. They beat you. It fucking sucks. But you know what? You're just I don't understand. It's such bad discipline, just stupid decisions by these guys. Just dumb. L's young. He's a young kid, but I mean, the one he made was so insane. Like, I knew in grade school not to put your arm up when you're playing a game. I'll never forget a kid, literally a ball floating over his head, and he grabbed the ball. I was probably in 5th grade, and he just put his head down like, ugh, because he knew what he did. And that was like 5th grade soccer. And he knew that he messed up immediately. I don't know. I don't know. It's a discipline issue. It really is.
I wonder if any team has as many straight reds as we do.
I don't know. There's a lot. These are a lot. There's a lot of red cards. There's a lot of playing down.
3. So 4 matches. So 1 of every 6 matches we've played at least a minute with down a man, and 3 of those are straight reds.
Yeah, and you're just costing yourself fucking point after point after point. It's extremely frustrating, and we're talking about 2 draws. 1 in Colorado, which maybe wasn't a bad draw because we thought they were going to lose.
Especially,
but definitely a game that became winnable.
Oh, that game was absolutely winnable.
You know, right? And then you talk about last night. Holy fuck, Dante Van Zier cannot put a ball in the back of the net. That guy is snake bit. I mean, he is getting just chance after chance and cannot finish opportunities. So you're right? They're playing to, you have to be almost perfect. Last night sucked more because they just took the lead. That was the worst part. They had just gotten the lead, be it what are we calling it? The Olympico goal.
But you would think after Montreal gives up the goal like that, they're demoralized, right? You shouldn't give up that chance within 2 minutes. But there we are.
Very U.S. men's national team of them to do that in that game.
Van Zier should have had at least a goal. I was listening to the Red Bull radio feed, and I think it was Steve Jolly that said, like, we should have been up 3 or 4 at halftime, and absolutely, that game was lost in the first half, realistically.
Mm-hmm. With the chances that they had.
Because they should have put that game to bed early. That should have been the rain's coming at halftime. Well, we don't really need to play because we're already up 4, so who the fuck cares? Let's just call it now.
Yeah.
That's what it should have been. And I get it. The weather sucks, so at some point you're going to rest and not try as hard to conserve your energy. But they were fucking handing us chances, and we did nothing with them. Like, literally, Van Zier's first chance was literally the ball went right to him. All he did was take a 1 or 2 steps forward and take a shot, and he just skies it. Like, dude, what are you doing?
I don't know. I just don't know.
And the one later in the first half where I think he was offside, but he was fucking right there. That was even closer. He missed.
Yep. This is becoming really hard to watch. Really hard to watch. And we're going to sit at more games without their captain. And I will say it again. No whispers of anyone coming in.
The only thing that helps us is that after the match this weekend, MLS regular season is on a break because the League's Cup. So at least one Niels will be back after this game.
Mm-hmm.
Forsberg should be back before the regular season starts again. God forbid. I really hope Schwartz does not play him during League's Cup, honestly. Like, just let him sit and rest.
Yeah.
We have 10 games left on the schedule. All the priority should be on the regular season right now.
Yep, I'm with you on that. I don't care about League's Cup. Just don't care.
It's an honest miracle that we're still 4th in the Eastern Conference.
Yes, it really is. It's just because, again, I think we said it last week, the bad teams are still playing poorly against other teams. We're the only ones that can't beat them.
Yeah.
You know, we lose to the Reds, and the Reds keep getting their butts kicked by their teams. Like, it's so fucking frustrating, right? And that's the only reason, because the bad teams are playing bad.
Like New England, granted, it was the battle of the worst in the East, but New England getting just banked 5-1 by Philly last night.
Yeah. God, I'll say this. Hats off to everybody who stayed for that whole game last night. I don't know how you did it. Pat did not. Pat did the smart thing and got the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah, I went to go feed the cats during the halftime, and I set an alarm for myself so I could put it on my phone when it was ready. Turn it on, there's a weather delay. I'm like, well, fuck.
Yeah, all right.
It's like, here we go. And Pat goes, oh, I left. Like as soon as he was told shelter in place, he's like, fuck it, I'm gone.
Don't blame him. Don't blame him at all.
I said it was a good thing too, because there was that tweet put out by Red Bull Arena saying that Rogers Boulevard was flooding, and they were directing all the traffic across the bridge into Newark.
Yep.
So
Good
if it was
grief.
flooding then, it was not going to be cleared by the time people left.
No.
So,
man, oh man.
Is there even anything positive from these two games?
My eyes are really wide because I'm trying to think very hard. Unfortunately, the listeners can't see how wide my eyes are.
Ricky Carmona's goal last night.
Yeah, that was a good goal. That was a really nice goal.
That thing did not leave the ground. It had so much fucking pace on it.
Yep, that was nice. And again, the point, the good road draw against a team that's playing well this year. That was the one excusable draw, because yes, you did give up the goal to lose the lead. But I mean, that's a game I think everyone was thinking they were going to lose. So I'm not mad. It's just you look at the Montreal game, you look at the DC game, you look at the Chicago game, you look at the Nashville game, you look at the game against Philly, you look at all these fucking games, and those are the ones that just drive you fucking crazy. So I guess my like will be that the Colorado draw is not as bad as every other one they've had this year.
Yeah.
Because my God, there's some bad ones.
11 of them.
That's insane. It really is insane.
I honestly do not know how we haven't lost some of these games.
They easily could have lost last night, and they were on the precipice of losing that game. They were very close.
Yeah.
Oh, God. What's next? What is next? Well, we know what's next, right?
Yeah. So, probably, prediction standings, we both got everything wrong, so no change. Next up for the Red Bulls is FC Cincinnati, who will come into this game on Saturday, July 20th at 7:30 p.m. They come into this game with a record of 15, 3-6, 48 points, a plus 13 goal difference, number 2 in the Eastern Conference, and number 2 in MLS. The only good thing, I think, is Acosta is out for them, and they apparently have not been winning without Acosta. That's
we're not really winning without Emil Forsberg.
Right, but I'm just saying from a perspective of what does the Red Bulls have going for them, that would be the what they have.
Right.
So with that, Truman, since you're in the lead, predictions, you get to go first. What do you think is going to happen on Saturday?
What do you even do at this point? How do you even make a prediction? You just go draw again? Because I don't know. Is this finally the time they get their absolute asses kicked at home? It's entirely possible with this team. I mean, can bad luck just keep coming? I just don't know. The good news is it's going to be sunny. So I don't think there's going to be a rain interruption in this game. So maybe that'll actually finally help them. I don't know. 1-1 draw. Let's keep riding the draws. Are they good enough to just keep staying undefeated at home with fucking pathetic draws? I feel this is definitely going to be one of those games. And then they'll fucking pat themselves in the back, say, great job, good team, we played really hard against a really good team, blah, blah, blah.
Or just say, it's disappointing, we need to be better, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Of nice shit.
I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could say draw. I don't think we're going to win. I got to go with loss, I guess. I feel like right before Leagues Cup, like this is the perfect time for one of those last like stoppage time nut punch 2-1 losses, like where it's 1-1, but we look like we have the momentum going and we're going to do it, and then all of a sudden we get hit on the counter. That's my feeling. I'm saying a 2-1 loss. I'm saying 2-1 loss with that, because why not right before Leagues Cup? We're just going to do that to ourselves.
Down no, right? Down no. Big down no.
Yeah. But God forbid we take any positive momentum into a break from the regular season. But
correct.
I think this. We were talking about this, right? On I think it was on Reddit. I've seen this, so I'm going to pose this question to you. Where do you think right now the majority of the blame lies for our results? Is this in coaching, or is this in players and not executing?
I'm going to say players not executing. I think I'm not getting mad at the coaching because I feel that most of the games, the plan is working, but they are not scoring, right? They're getting ball and they're creating chances, but those chances are not going in the back of the net. So, I mean, I'm going to give that number one. And number two is just having your best player not there is clearly absolutely killing them. But if those are the choices, I think it's definitely execution by the players. The coach is not handing guys straight red cards, playing undisciplined in the back, and he's not sitting right in the front of the net with the ball and shooting it over the net.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. The way I see it is, I'm going to compare it to when Struber was here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we're better scoring than when Struber was here to begin with. But like these kind of matches, right? It never felt like with Struber we had the possibility of at least scoring a goal and nicking a win here and there. Where at least now it feels like we at least have that shot. Even when we're playing poorly against teams that we shouldn't be losing to, it's like we're not to the point where this is an assumed loss or assumed draw, right? Like we have that ability to at least get one goal at some point, and even though we haven't been doing it, but we had that ability. And I feel like the way we are doing pressing this time versus under Struber, they're being more pragmatic than they have in the past, which means we're not running ourselves down early in game.
Right, and exhausting yourself.
Yeah, with Struber was like, you're going to press all the time, which is great when you're playing in Europe and you're generally, in decent / cold weather where you don't waste all your energy right away. But when you be more pragmatic about it and pressing and not, you get situations like the other night where they weren't even pressing and the Montreal goalkeeper just gave it away.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They weren't really, they had Van Zier was near the top of the box, but he wasn't actively pressing anybody when that happened. It was just a bad pass because Montreal's system was play out of the back and it just worked. But I feel like if that was Struber, we would have been pressing right away on the goalie and would have gave him the outlet pass. It would have opened up space and maybe not, had an actual shot on goal, but they would have been farther away from the goal, which would have been against what we want, right?
Yeah.
I feel like this coaching system right now is at least putting our players in the position they need to be in, and the players aren't the ones performing.
I just hate knowing that the only way this team is making it out of the first round is getting another clinical finisher and bolstering the midfield. It's just that you've lost one guy because you sold him, like Jeremiah said, too early. I mean, I think that was a crazy fucking move, but whatever. Not for Frankie. Amaya is getting paid. And then they injured Emil Forsberg. So they have to do something to bolster. They have to bolster that midfield somehow.
Yeah.
And they need a guy that's going to get in front of the net and actually fucking bury the ball and not shoot it over the net 100 times. So,
speaking of Van Zier, are we getting close to the time where they have to pull the trigger and say, hey, you're gonna play, but you're not gonna start for a bit?
I don't know. He still creates chances. That's what's so weird about him. He creates opportunities. He just can't score when he gets the opportunity to actually shoot. He's good with the ball. And we've beaten this horse to death too, and I think everyone else online has too, that he's better than Manuel is with the ball, moving the ball around, creating chances. Right. It's just he's a striker. He's getting paid to score, and that is not happening.
All right. Well, let's move on. We're going to skip Gotham FC and Red Bulls 2 because they're both on breaks. Nothing's been happening. Actually, the one thing I'll say is just because I just realized Red Bulls 2, their next match is on Sunday, 7 p.m. They're hosting Orlando City U23. With that, it is time for the F1 update.
And box now, box forward. Stay out. Fuck! What
are you doing? We're in Hungary. We're at the, I want to say it right, the Hungaroring, the Hungaroring. Go ahead, Jay. You give that one a shot. Hungaroring.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be much better than that.
Hungering. Anyway, so we're back to racing. I think we got 2 weeks in a row. We got some racing going on. It's been a great year. I think we talked about it last week. 6 different winners so far. So it's been fun.
Was it 6 after Lewis?
I think it's 6. Yeah. So it's been fun. It's worth watching. It's not Red Bull dominating. It's been exciting. McLaren's really is great. Lando Norris having a great season. It's a good time to watch Formula One. It's a good time to get in it now because it is actually becoming very competitive, and it's not just a runaway train.
On either the driver or the constructors championship.
Right. Yeah. Yep. I'll go over really quick. Just Max Verstappen has 255. Lando has 171. Constructors, Red Bull 373, Ferrari at 302, and McLaren at 295. Right. So not a runaway at all.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Nico Hulkenberg is leaving Haas at the end of the season.
That. Well, because Ollie Berman's going to Haas, I think.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Somebody's gonna be racing the Indy circuit next year. You can just get that feeling, right? So one of these guys, someone in here is gonna be at Indy racing.
It's gonna be Logan Sargent, isn't it?
No, I think he's back on for next season. I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure they said he was going to return.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I could see that happening. If he's not still Williams.
I mean, it's not his fault. Williams sucks.
All right, with that, it's time for the dumping ground.
I'm the trash man.
So the only thing I could think of for dumping ground is MLS and their insane roster rules. Because they announced a modification that goes into effect starting this upcoming transfer window. Oh boy. So let's see. So now MLS rosters can feature 6 prime spots, 3 designated players, and 3 U22 initiative players. You don't know what initiative players are. It's basically a designated player that's under 22. I don't know why there's a special classification, but whatever. Apparently, teams must now declare what they call a roster construction path at the start of every season, and then you get to redeclare it in August. Basically, if you want to go more designated player heavy, the 3-and-3, or you can give up a regular DP spot for a 4th U22 spot and get basically $2 million in fund money from the league.
My God.
Like, why? Then apparently we can convert more money out of a transfer revenue into general allocation money. At this point, what the fuck is going on with the roster rules?
I don't know. How is this going to benefit Miami and LAFC? That's really the question here.
Well, they'll go with the 4 U22 model and just find somebody and get an extra $2 million, basically, or somehow find a way to convert that into a regular designated player spot. I don't know.
I thought you said the new rule is going to be is that if a U.S. men's national team player is going to return to MLS, that Don Garber single-handedly got to put that person wherever he wanted. I thought that's where that was going to go.
I mean, at this point, it wouldn't fucking surprise me. I'm honestly surprised at some point U.S. Soccer just didn't look at what the NASL did years ago and say, "Fuck it, we're just going to put the U.S. men's team in MLS for a bit."
Yeah, just
pay them the salary, let them play together for years. I don't know. I get weird roster rules that are like MLS's history, but we have like target allocation money, general allocation money, designated players, U22 players. I don't even know Generation Adidas things are still there. Homegrown deals are still a thing. International roster spots that you can trade. Like, and then of course the draft is still a thing because it's
we don't know why, for some reason.
Because we got to give college players a different way in.
Yeah.
Like at some point, I mean, if Pat was on here, he'd go on probably like a 5-minute rant about just opening up the checkbook. But at some point, just simplify the fucking rules. You get this many roster spots. If you want to keep a salary cap, fine. Just say, this is the number of roster spots. This is your salary cap. Player minimum is X. And That's it. There's your rules.
Not
Doesn't need
MLS.
to
They
be
like to make things as completely insane as possible.
Yeah. In fairness, other leagues are not great. Like England with their fucking financial fair play implementation is just weird.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But yes, so the roster rule update is a thing. I don't know what's going to happen.
All right, I got one more topic to talk about. What are we doing here, MLS, with the fucking 14-year-olds playing in MLS? And we're to blame too. We're to blame too. Is what Julian Hall was 15 entering the league, and I was just going off of because of course MLS was hyping, what's his name, Kevin Sullivan for Philly, 14 years old, 14 years, 293 days. Freddie Adu was 14 years, 306. His career went great, didn't it? Remember when he was hyped up? How well that career went? I don't know. I guess there's different ways you can think about it, but I think we're getting a little fucking nuts with these fucking children playing Major League Soccer, 14 years old.
Who was the kid we had playing for us back in early 2010s? I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
I don't remember. I'd have to think hard too. But it's I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think that's just fucking too young to be developed playing in a major league sport.
Put them in the MLS Next Pro. Isn't that the whole kind of reason you have it?
Right. I don't know. There's so much shit that goes in major league sports that I think that age, just maturity wise, it has to be fucking overwhelming. I don't care how good you are on the field. It has to be overwhelming.
Oh, I was thinking Juan Godello, by the way.
Oh, Juan Godello. Great. How'd he turn out?
Yeah. He had his 4 best years playing for New England, where he only scored 28 goals.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That was a very tiny mini rant. I just think it's crazy that we're letting kids this young into the game right now. That's just me.
And Agudelo was 17, by the way, when he started playing professionally.
So he wasn't right. He's fucking 17. He wasn't 14 years old.
I get it. There are 14-year-olds that have skill, and soccer is probably the one that you can get. Soccer is probably like the sport you can get away with playing younger, because if you're good enough, you can just avoid the physicality for a few years.
Right, and a 14-year-old ain't getting into Major League Baseball, so.
Yeah. But like you can at least somewhat avoid the physicality in soccer if you're good enough, so you can get away with things. You ain't getting away with in other sports.
Right.
Like there's nowhere to fucking hide in football or hockey if you're 14.
And they would never, ever, ever let it happen, no matter how good you were. Like, never.
I mean, the NBA intentionally, after LeBron James and all them entered the league, were like, we're just going to start rolling back the minimum age for the draft.
Yeah. It made it very silly, too, because then they were like, well, we want you to go to at least college for a year. All right, we'll go to college for 1 year. 1 year and bail. NBA's got its own crazy problems. Jalen Brunson is not one of them, though. I'm just going to drop that right now.
Taking a pay cut to stay with the Knicks.
He's the fucking stud.
All right. Anything else? Oh, wait, hold on. We got to talk a little bit about Copa America and the craziness of not necessarily the game itself, just the shit before. Okay, so if you're listening to this, you obviously know what the hell happened.
Great. We do not have to cover that. But what a fucking nightmare.
But seeing videos of Colombian fans climbing through the fucking AC vents to try to get into the stadium.
Overselling games, overselling tickets.
Right? Blaming Hard Rock security and the police for not doing their job when you're the one that sold the stadium.
You oversold tickets, and then you had more people without tickets trying to get in. You created your own problem.
And then apparently, I guess this is the thing in Hard Rock where like you have to, for other games, you have to like scan your ticket to get into tailgate, where they weren't stopping that. So people were tailgating when they didn't have a ticket, and then of course people just try to like get in because they're there. So it creates a. Now I was not alive for when it happened. The hell am I blinking on the name? I should know this. I can't remember the stadium. Was it Heysel, where the Liverpool fans, the '97, passed away because of
right, the Hillsborough.
My Hillsborough disaster, where the fucking police just did a fucking shit job and the crush of people just literally pushed them against the fence and killed the 97 people.
Tried to blame the fans.
Well, they did for a while.
That's a whole. I mean, right? It's only been in the past few years where finally responsibility came down onto the police. You know, that's a whole nother bag of worms to get into. There's an amazing documentary on ESPN about it.
Yeah, but my point is, like, seeing the video of and quick side note, the one New York Red Bulls fan who decided with his jersey of all the places you could show up.
I know. Well, he wore the worst. He wore the terrible jersey, so terrible things going to happen to you.
God, you're right. Just watching the video of those fans trying to get in and being almost literally crushed against the like waist high barricade because people wouldn't stop pushing them, and people weren't able to get through because tickets weren't scanning.
Yep.
I'm kind of glad the thing broke because they needed that relief. Like, that could have been a really, really bad disaster. It honestly probably could have been worse than Hillsborough if that kind of a thing didn't happen and they didn't say, screw it, let's open the doors to make sure people don't die.
Yeah.
Like, that could have been a very, very bad disaster.
Yeah, it was fucking absolutely nuts.
And then people online are like, oh, the U.S. isn't ready to handle this. I'm like, we fucking handled the Copa in 2016 without a problem. This is not about us.
Yeah. And I think the World Cup will be handled just fine, too.
It was in 94.
Yeah. And I'm not worried about it this year either.
Yeah. Like, come on. Clearly, this is Con the Bull just being, I don't know if corrupt's the right word, just greedy is probably the better one.
I think greed's a good word for it.
Con the Bull being greedy and looking like, oh, if we just take the airline model of overselling, then we'll be okay. Because certain people won't get in, but whatever. We'll still get all of our paid people in. And now they're going to get lawsuits.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I saw someone claiming they paid like $2,000 plus for tickets. And like, well, why? My first thought was, why the fuck are you paying $2,000 plus to go to a game?
I just don't know that. Don't know.
I mean, like, I know there are events that are that bad, like the Super Bowl. And I will probably never go to Super Bowl unless I somehow get tickets for free or really, really, really cheap. But I mean, yeah, if you're shelling out that kind of money for the game, yeah, you're gonna fucking get it back.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else for Dummy Ground?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Then it's time for the last segment of the show, Truman's Terrible Team of the Week.
That's terrible.
I'm going to hand it off this time to last Saturday, where LAFC got absolutely trounced by Columbus at home 5-1. Runner-up, I think it will go to St. Louis, losing at home to Vancouver 4-1. But Columbus is a good team, so they're definitely going to score a ton of goals. But that is that is a tough game to go to and watch your team get absolutely fucking walloped.
Columbus is a good team with 2 games in hand on the top of the East. So
yeah, they're doing all right.
All right, is that it?
That is it.
Okay, let's wrap this up. Patreon.com/Red Bull Rant. $1 a month gets you exclusive content whenever we actually do it. I want to thank our producers, Jeremiah Dempster, Steven Santos, Eddie Delecto, and Christopher Edmeck. Thank you guys for supporting the show. You can email us at redbullrant@gmail.com. If you want to call or text us, because that is the thing.
Yeah.
973-348-5329. Facebook.com/Red Bull Rant. On Twitter, at Red Bull Rant for the show, at Doc the Stooge for myself, at the Truman for Truman. Subscribe to our show via iTunes, YouTube Music, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast. Last words before we get out of here.
How about we don't play like idiots this Saturday? How about that? I don't think that's a lot to ask for. Play a fucking disciplined game, and maybe, just maybe, you can find a way to win.
Yes. 3 points would be very, very good right now.
What a treat that would be.
All right. So for Truman and myself, this has been episode 465 of the Red Bull Rant. Thank you guys for tuning in, and as always, go Red Bull.
Bye-bye.